Every year, millions of Australians go looking for a new car. They've got a budget, a list of needs, maybe a vague idea of what they want, and they walk into a market with more than 60 brands and 550 models all competing for their attention. That's a lot of noise. We're here to cut through it. I'm Ali, one of the journalists here at Carsales, and this is the New Car Buyer's Guide. The New Car Buyer's Guide isn't a Car of the Year award. It's not about handing a trophy to whoever sent the flashiest press release. We've looked at Carsales' extensive research and looked at what buyers are actually searching for and picked 5 broad categories: city cars, family SUVs, tradie vehicles, off-road 4x4s and electric vehicles. In each one, we've shortlisted 5 vehicles worth your attention and named one top pick that we think should sit right at the top of your list. That's 25 vehicles total, handpicked from everything available in Australian showrooms right now. Vehicles you can walk in and buy today. How do we pick them? Every category has its own weighted criteria because what matters to an EV buyer is completely different from what matters to someone shopping for a tradie ute or a family SUV. City cars, 5 of the best compact cars you can buy in Australia in 2026, covering a wide range of budgets, powertrains and priorities. Let's get into it. We start with the world's best-selling car of all time, the Toyota Corolla. It's been around since 1966 and it's now in its 12th generation. In 2026, it's exclusively hybrid, which tells you something about where Toyota thinks the market is heading. Here's why it's on our shortlist. The Corolla is now one of the most affordable hybrids you can buy in Australia. In the real world, owners on roads like Hoddle Street in Melbourne or Parramatta Road in Sydney are seeing fuel consumption figures around 3 litres per 100 Ks. That's lower than Toyota's official figure, and that basically never happens. One thing worth knowing about this powertrain: the Corolla uses a planetary gear set rather than a traditional automatic transmission. There's no belt, no chain, and no clutch in the conventional sense. These cars have a long track record for reliability at high mileage, and because the electric motor handles some of the braking, brake pads often last longer than you'd expect. It's also just a very easy car to live with. The cabin is well built, the driving experience is effortless, and the resale values are among the best in the segment. But here's where you need to be honest with yourself. The boot is 217 litres. That's small. The Kia Picanto, the cheapest car on this list, actually has a bigger boot. If you're regularly carrying a pram, sports gear, or a dog that's grown past puppy stage, the Corolla will feel tight. The back seat is also snug for adults. This is a car that suits 1 or 2 people well. If you're a couple or mostly driving solo, it's brilliant. If you need to fit a family in regularly, we'd point you toward the Kona, which we'll get to shortly. Now, if the Corolla is the efficiency benchmark, the next car raises the question of what else your money can do. 9 out of 10 people buying a city car haven't sat in a Skoda Kamiq. The Skoda Kamiq is one of the better kept secrets in this segment. It's 4.2 metres long, which makes it shorter than a Volkswagen Golf. It parks like a small car, but open the boot and you'll find 400 litres. That's nearly the same as the Hyundai Kona. The rear seat has real space for adults. There's an umbrella in the door and an ice scraper hidden in the fuel cap. Small details, but they tell you something about how thoughtfully this car is designed. The variant to go for is the 85 TSI Select, just under $34,000 drive away. The 1-litre 3-cylinder turbo might sound underdone, but it's only moving 1,310 kilos. It's punchy in city traffic and it's built on a Volkswagen platform, same bones as the Volkswagen Polo, so the engineering underneath is proven. 2 things to know before you test drive one. The 7-speed DSG transmission has a particular behaviour at very low speeds in stop-start traffic. It can feel more deliberate than a conventional automatic when slowly pulling away. Most owners adapt quickly, but it's worth experiencing in your own city driving conditions before you commit. Test drive in real traffic, not just a quick lap of the dealer car park. And check your location. Skoda's dealer network in the major cities is solid. But if you're in regional Australia, it's worth knowing your nearest service centre before you sign. Now, if the Kamiq is the European sleeper, the next car on the list is the most straightforward choice you can make and possibly the most underestimated. The Kia Picanto is the cheapest new car on sale in Australia right now. under $20,000 before on roads. And we think it's seriously underestimated. It's 3.6 metres long with a 9.4 metre turning circle, meaning it can park in spots that are genuinely impossible for anything else on this list. It comes with a 7-year warranty, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and autonomous emergency braking. In a sub $20,000 new car, that's a lot of value. It's also very efficient. Choose the manual and the official figure is 5.4 litres per 100. But in real-world testing, we've seen closer to 4.8. That's hybrid rivaling economy from a straightforward petrol engine. And it takes 91 RON unleaded, so you're not paying premium prices at the Bowser. Here's the thing you need to go in with open eyes about. The Picanto's ANCAP safety rating dates back to 2017 under older testing protocols, and it doesn't have a current 5-star rating. The Skoda Kamiq and the Leapmotor B10 both earned 5 stars under 2024 and 2025 testing. For a single adult primarily driving in the city, the Picanto makes a strong choice. But that safety context is worth weighing carefully, particularly if this is a car that will be shared with newer or younger, inexperienced drivers. One more thing on running costs. The total service cost of just over $3,000 across 7 years is actually higher than the Kamiq, which is $2,650. Worth knowing if you're doing the maths on total cost of ownership. Now, from the most affordable to a car that rewrites the rules on what your money gets you in the EV space. If you haven't heard of Leapmotor, you're about to. The B10 is a fully electric small SUV from a Chinese brand backed by Stellantis. That's the group behind Jeep, Peugeot, Citroën, and Maserati. In fact, the suspension on the B10 was tuned by Maserati engineers. Not a headline you'd expect on a sub $40,000 electric SUV. It starts from just under $38,000 plus on-road costs for the style variant, which is similar money to the Hyundai Kona Hybrid. And for that, you get 160 kilowatts, a 5-star ANCAP rating from 2025 testing, and a 490-litre boot. The driving range on the long-range version is 434 kilometres on the WLTP cycle, and if you get it on the right DC charger, you can go from 30 to 80% in about 18 minutes. This car genuinely impressed us. It's flat in corners, it soaks up urban bumps with a compliance you'd normally expect from something costing twice as much, and the interior quality, the materials, the fit and finish punches well above its price point. A few things to go in knowing. The standard tyres are a practical spec for everyday city driving. They're not performance rubber, and if wet weather grip is a priority for you, that's an area where an upgrade down the track is worth considering. The interior relies heavily on the touchscreen. Climate, mirrors, and most vehicle functions are managed through the display rather than physical buttons. In city conditions, it works well, but spend time with it on your test drive to make sure it suits how you like to interact with a car. And on resale value, we know the Corolla's depreciation curve. We know the Konas. The B10 is an unknown. It's a first-generation Chinese EV in Australia. If you're buying one, go in knowing that's part of the deal. And the 5th car on our shortlist, it's one that needs no introduction, but the 2026 version has a few things worth knowing before you decide. The Hyundai Kona is one of the top-selling small SUVs in Australia right now, and the Hybrid Elite at just under $40,000 plus on roads is the variant that makes most sense on this list. Combined fuel consumption of 3.9 litres per 100 from a 2-litre petrol-electric powertrain, a 407-litre boot that expands to 1,241 litres with the seats folded, and a 12.3-inch infotainment screen that's genuinely good to use. If you've got a family or if you regularly need the car to do heavier lifting, the Kona earns its spot. The extra space over the Corolla is meaningful in real life, whether that's a pram, camping gear, or a bike. A couple of things to be across. The 4-star ANCAP result was assessed under the more stringent 2023 protocols. That's important context when you're comparing across the list. It's a solid result under a higher bar. The active safety systems, particularly the speed limit assist and driver monitoring, are more prominent in this car than in some rivals. That's not a knock, but it's worth spending time with them on your test drive to understand how they'll sit in your daily routine. Here's the shortlist. 5 cars worth your time in the city car category in 2026. The Toyota Corolla HEV or Hybrid, the efficiency and reliability benchmark. The lowest running costs on the list and a proven long-term ownership record. The Skoda Kamiq, the hidden gem. European engineering, practical interior, 5-star safety at a price point that surprises people once they start comparing. The Kia Picanto, the honest choice if budget is the priority. The cheapest new car in Australia with a 7-year warranty and better fuel economy than its price tag suggests. The Leapmotor B10 is the dark horse, a fully electric SUV with Maserati tuned suspension, 5-star NCAP safety rating and more space than you'd expect. Worth serious attention if you're EV ready. And the Hyundai Kona Hybrid, the family practical option, the most usable boot on the list, strong fuel economy and a well-established ownership experience. Our top pick in the city car category is the Toyota Corolla Hybrid. Here's why. Across the criteria that matter most in this segment, running costs, reliability, ease of ownership and value over time, the Corolla is the most consistently excellent answer. The hybrid system delivers real-world fuel economy that consistently beats the official figure. The 5-year capped service schedule keeps costs predictable, and Toyota's long-term reliability record is as strong as any car brand in this country. It's not the flashiest choice on the list, and it's not the most spacious. But if you're looking for a city car and you want to spend as little as possible running it, and as little time as possible thinking about it, the Corolla is the one. It's good to drive, very cheap to run, and has excellent retained value. But think about what suits your needs best. This is one of 5 categories in our 2026 New Car Buyer's Guide. If it isn't the right category for you, then one of the others probably is. We've covered city cars, family SUVs, off-road four-wheel drives, tradie vehicles, and electric vehicles. You can check out the full guide at carsales.com.au.